I'm going to flip the script, right? I'm going to play devil's advocate. I'm going to flip it back to you. I'm going to ask you the same question that you would ask them. Why are you doing, or why are you in the business that you're in today? Considering that you've had 6 businesses, you had success, why are you choosing to be more so of a business coach than any of the other strategies that you've engulfed in over the years?
People kept asking. I hate the term coach, man. It's been bastardized. There's so many coaches out there that have never done anything. They got a curriculum and they're going to go teach the curriculum, right? That drives me nuts. And people kept asking if I would teach them X, Y, and Z. So it's been about a year now. I moved out of 6 of the companies I moved out of. They still run, they operate, but without me. So I can focus on this piece. And a lot of it really goes back to my first why story. And I don't even think this one's in the book, but it really focuses on why I wanted to leave law enforcement and actually start my first company. I responded to an Audible alarm, and as a cop, you get Audible alarms all the time. Driving around in the middle of the night, an alarm goes off, the wind blew, the storm set off the alarm, nothing crazy, right? 97% of the time. Every once in a while, you show up and an actual burglary happened, right? And this is in my backyard. I grew up playing t-ball like the next door over, essentially, from where this happened. And I show up, the back door's kicked in. We do a clear the house. Nobody's there. My partner and I are waiting. We have to call the homeowners, and the homeowners have to come out and say, check everything, and you have to make sure everything's safe for them. And part of the process, one of the things I dislike about law enforcement, it's coined to protect and to serve. The reality of it is in a situation like that, police officers respond and report. They're not really protecting anything. They're responding. It's very reactive, right? And as we're going through and they're like detailing, the TV's gone, the laptop's gone. All of a sudden, this young woman, there's a young couple, they just got married. This young woman sprints to the back room, and she gets to the back room, her jewelry box is like tipped over and everything's scattered, right? And she starts trifling through everything. And she was looking for one item. And it was an heirloom ring that her grandmother gave her. And her grandmother passed a few weeks before. And she lost it. It's a jewelry, an item like that, like you can't track, right? So it's lost. There's no way to there's no serial number attached to jewelry. So there's no way to go back and be like, oh man, we can find this for you. So as she's bawling in between stops, she looks up at me. She's like, what can I do to keep this from ever happening to my family again, my friends, people I care about? How can I stop this from ever happening again? And as a police officer, you are taught you're not allowed to give that recommendation. You can't tell them this lock, this alarm, this blah, blah, blah will keep you safe. Because if you tell them that and it doesn't work, you get sued, the city gets sued, the police department gets sued. So because of liability, which is why I left law enforcement, I stopped putting handcuffs on people and started wearing the handcuffs. I couldn't do my job anymore because it became such a liability heavy society. So I left that and started my first security firm, or started my security firm, where we gave the recommendations to people. How do you still stay safe? Well, this is the best way to lock. This is how you install it. This is how you barricade. This is how you do X, Y, and Z. So the whole piece of that shift created my why of helping those that can't help themselves. Seeing this young woman just in tears and knowing she didn't have the knowledge to help herself, and I did, I felt like a guilt attached to that. Like, man, I want to give this recommendation, but I've been told so many times I can't. So I started that company, and then each company since then has been somebody wants help with something and they don't know how to accomplish it. And if I have that skill set, it's like our duty and obligation to create that as a furtherance for them. So the security firm was that way, the domestic violence nonprofits that way, the business coaching's that way, and the newest 501c I started last month is the same thing for veteran business owners. It's furtherance of their mission. It's actually called Advancing the Line. And it's all about helping those that can't help themselves, but really want to take that action, and they just need a little bit of help.
Wow.